But some of this stuff here is just fun to read. Home air cooling system, 3000 BC in Egypt. This is another good example of radiant heat transfer. You can actually freeze water in the desert when it's 80 degrees outside by radiant heat transfer. Yeah, it's amazing. And in Albuquerque, where I went to school, there are ways that you can cool your house by having like a structural steel decking on top of the house and a salt pond on top. And during the day, you cover up that salt pond, and all the warmest air in the building goes up, gets absorbed by that steel decking, gives it up to the salt water up above. Then at night, you pull the cover back from the salt pond. The reason it's salty is because it keeps the water from evaporating so quickly. And then it will radiate out to the night sky. The night sky is almost infinitely cold. And that water will be somewhere between 50 and 60 degrees again by morning. And that's nice because you lose a big percentage of your heat from your head. And so if your ceiling is nice and cool, it keeps you cooler. That's one of the things I don't like about radiant floors is it's radiating to the soles of your feet, your crotch, your underarms, and the palms of your hand. You know, not the places you really want to warm, but they do. Salt ponds are a great system for cooling in hot climates. The only time it'll always work. Hot, humid climates are just hard, you know, because the air has so much heat capacity, because there's so much moisture in it. It's really tough to keep yourself cool in a humid climate, which is why I left Virginia. Here's an article about solar water heating. Let's go. I'm going to do one more thing as long as we have the overhead projector on. See if I can not blind myself. I was talking to you about a system sizing worksheet for PV. This is kind of what it looks like. So you get the electrical device, how many watts it draws, how many hours a day you use it, how many days per week, divide it by 7, and you get average watt hours per day. And that's what you need for your battery bank and for sizing your solar system. This will also help you with your inverter. And kind of as a rule of thumb, you don't want to put less than half the capacity of the inverter into it with solar panels. So people have asked, okay, if I want to add to my system over the next 3 years, let's say I want to add 1 kilowatt worth of capacity every year. So I'm going to put in 100 square feet of panels for $10,000 and a 3 kilowatt inverter. Because a 3 kilowatt inverter is only like $600 more than a 1 kilowatt inverter. So it's not that much more to buy a bigger one. But if you put 1 kilowatt worth of PV into a 3 kilowatt inverter, your efficiency goes way down. If you put 1 kilowatt into a 2 kilowatt inverter, you don't take a very big hit. So it's kind of a trade-off. You want to get the biggest inverter that you can because it's going to be cheaper to buy a big one than a bunch of small ones. But you don't want to buy too big a one. So you have to come up with some kind of idea how big a system you really want to do. Better. Okay, so this is probably, let's see, this talks more about solar water heaters. It doesn't have the evacuated tubes in here, and it does have a parabolic trough. This is a Breadbox solar water heater. There's actually plans in here for it. Sort of plans. And this is like the cheapest hot water heater. Nah, I said it. I caught myself. It's one of my pet peeves. Hot water heater. You don't have to heat hot water. It's already hot. It's a water heater, or it's a hot water tank. Basically, you're taking an old water heater, stripping off the sheet metal, taking off all the insulation, paint the thing black, put it in a 3-sided box with glass over the top, and then insulate it with foil-faced polyisoboard, and you've got a water heater. And you can build one for next to nothing. And actually, some of them, if you set it at the right elevation, it will actually thermosiphon by itself. You don't even need a pump. When it gets hot, that water is going to expand. It has to go somewhere. You just have a little expansion valve on the side that goes into your normal water heater, and it will feed it nice hot water.